Hey everybody, Graham McInnes here, McInnes Realty Group, and this is the monthly update for May 2nd for the Calgary real estate market, and looking back at April, how April went. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is actually talk to you about what happened in the market, but from my own personal experience as a realtor here in Calgary. Calgary MLS listings that are for sale are really selling at a very strong pace still. So the real estate board just came out with their monthly statistics. So I just want to talk about that and also my own experience of my own listings and sales that have happened in the last month. So just briefly, let's start with the real estate board statistic. So sales April last month, they were down a little bit from April of last year. However, don't let that fool you into thinking that the market is dropping or whatever. The froth is coming off the market from an absolute insane level to just a hot seller's market. It's still definitely a seller's market. A lot of my buyer clients were having a tough time, due to their work schedule or whatever, getting to listings to view them before they actually sell, especially for single-family detached homes, semi-detached homes, under say 400,000 or 500,000. They're still flying off the shelf. Maybe not getting 40 offers or 20 offers like they were in February and selling for an unbelievable amount over the list price, and often with no conditions. So it's just as soon as the seller signs it, it's a firm sale. Now what's happening is it's cooled down a bit. Usually there's less offers if there is multiple offers at all, but the properties are still selling extremely quickly. And maybe instead of selling for over the list price, they're just selling for or way over the list price. They're selling for maybe a little bit over the list price, $5, $10, $15, $20,000, depending on the property and the market and the condition and stuff like that, and the actual original list price. And then those offers are typically having conditions, financing, home inspection, whatever, and the seller's willing to accept that, or maybe that's their only option, is to accept an offer like that, which is fine. That's kind of a good thing in a way, and how properties really should be sold. So overall, though, the market is still, like I said, doing really, really well. Don't let the dip in sales fool you. It's probably because there's just not enough listings versus the demand. And as you can see here, the months of supply, in other words, if we never listed a single other house collectively as the real estate board, all of us realtors here in Calgary, we would sell out of properties to sell you guys in 1.43 months. That is incredibly low. That is super, super low. A balanced market would be like 3.5 months of inventory. And right now, overall, there's 4,850 units, or listings, in other words, on the market, including all property types. And it would only take us 1.43 months to sell them all. A balanced market, again, about 3.5 months of inventory. So basically, inventory would pretty much have to triple in order to bring the market conditions just back to a balanced market. Never mind how much inventory we would need to get it into a buyer's market, which would be about 5 months of inventory. So we're so incredibly far away from that, despite what they hear in the news, despite the rising interest rates. And again, I'm talking specifically about Calgary. I'm not talking about what's going on in Vancouver or Toronto markets, which, yeah, things are tanking there, but that's a totally different animal and a different ballgame than here. And that'll only be temporary anyways, as they pull back from the true insanity that was experienced there. Which I know I mentioned that in every video, but it's just because it's just so wildly bananas. The prices and everything in Vancouver and Toronto, especially compared to here, especially when you compare the average income of a household in Calgary, which is way higher than Vancouver or Toronto. So anyways, I digress. The market's still super strong. Let's talk about my own listings and stuff. Almost all my listings over the last 30 days have been selling very, very quickly. I just sold one in Cedar Brae that we put on, on Friday, and it sold on Friday. Sold the same day, literally within just a couple of hours. So, that's one example. I had a condo listing. Let's talk about the condo market now. That was in the downtown in the East Village. We got that one sold this month, a firm sale. It actually sold a little while ago, but we've been going through the conditional period. And that one, we actually got over the list price on it, which is kind of rare for condos right now. But the condo market is seeing quite a large improvement over last year, and last year was a big improvement over all the years before, going all the way back to 2014, the last time the condo market was actually hot. So definitely seeing a lot of activity in the market still, despite, like I said, the headlines that you'll read in the newspapers about the market changing and slowing down and stuff. They're really talking, you'll see some headlines referring to the Canadian real estate market. Well, first of all, there is no such thing as the Canadian real estate market because, as you probably know, every market is local, and it's even local to the certain areas of the city. Some neighborhoods in your city could be absolutely on fire while other neighborhoods are in buyer's markets. Some neighborhoods, even some streets within those neighborhoods could be a seller's market while other parts of the neighborhood are a buyer's market. It literally just depends. It is that distinct area to area and that defined. So in the news headlines, when you see stories, which you're seeing, I think a lot now, I'm seeing them all the time, about the market changing and slowing down and these rising interest rates, definitely that'll have an impact on the market. It mostly, the rising interest rates, at least for now, only really affect the people that are on the margin, that they could only afford to buy that house that they got pre-approved and qualified for at a 2.5% or a 3% interest rate, and they can't afford to purchase it if their pre-approval expires, if they haven't bought something by the time it expires, and now they have to qualify at a much higher bank qualifying rate. Remember, the qualifying rate is 2 points higher roughly than the actual interest rate that the bank will actually give you, because they build in that buffer for a safety net, right? In case the rates rise, which is happening, and that's a good thing. So everyone that got at 2.5 got qualified at around 4.5 or so. So when their mortgage renews, they should still be able to afford those payments, depending on when the mortgage renews. If they renew at 7%, well, maybe that's a different story. We'll worry about that down the road, and that probably is where rates are going, by the way. Yes, believe it. Mark my words. Actual interest rates for the mortgage you actually can get, 7%, maybe in a year to a year and a half, something like that. That's at least, that's not my prediction. That's the forecast from the market. So anyways, where was I going with that? So things are still doing well. The national news headlines are obviously meant to be attention grabbing, so they're always sensational, and it's very, very specific city to city, region to region. Calgary is a different story than Vancouver or Toronto, which when they say the market's going down in the news, they're usually just referencing Vancouver and Toronto, not necessarily Edmonton, Calgary, Lethbridge, Red Deer, Montreal, any other major city in Canada. They kind of always just seem to default to referencing Vancouver and Toronto because those are the big sexy cities in Canada. So anyways, the market, guys, is still doing really well. If you've got a single family detached home that's priced around $500 or less, you will not have any problem selling it still, as long as it's in decent condition. And if you've got a condo, things are improving. You might want to think about listing it. If you bought it maybe in 2014, you're probably getting back to the point where you could get what you paid for it, because they took a big dip between 2015 and 2020 or 2021, and they've been recovering slowly over the years. If you've got a townhouse, I mean, man, especially in the southeast, in the far northwest, they're selling like crazy still. If you want to buy a townhouse in any of those areas, get ready to sharpen your pencil, write really good offers, be ready to be very competitive, because those homes are selling very, very well. And even older townhomes in some of the more established neighborhoods, like I mostly work in the southeast and southwest where I live, and Cedar Brae, Oak Ridge, a lot of these older type neighborhoods that have awesome old school style townhouse developments, that have backyards and garages and really awesome floor plans, and they're big and stuff like that. Those are selling well, as long as the condo fee isn't too crazy high, and they're updated, they're in good shape, in a good development. Yeah, so that's basically the market update, you guys. I just wanted to touch base with all y'all, give you the update as to what's happened in April. Moving forward, let's make a prediction here. Just like it says in the update, I mean, my opinion is the same. I've been saying this for a while now. The market will start to slow. But again, just coming down from crazy paces down to maybe by the fall, maybe we will be in a balanced market by the fall or by the end of this year, as the interest rates rising start to impact the market and buyer demand, and people just put their house on the market at a more normal pace. Although I don't really know what would spur that, because they're not doing it now, and this is the time when normally we see the highest number of listings: April, May, June, July. So we're not really seeing a massive increase in listings. Like I said, there's only 1.43 months of supply. That is super low still. And it's because people are snatching them up. However many listings get put on the market, people are basically buying them up. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough to predict, obviously. No one knows the future. But I think by the end of the year, it'll be a cooler seller's market. Maybe we'll get into a balanced market. When will we ever see a detached market where, a buyer's market where the prices are really starting to move down by a significant amount? Who knows? Probably not for a while. But all of these crazy markets, when they rise, just Google it for yourself. Look at Calgary real estate prices, historical real estate prices. You can find this data online. Every time they go up, they always come down a little bit to kind of just balance out that crazy spike. I mean, that happens in every market, right? The stock market, Bitcoin, gold, I mean, everything. It all goes up, and then it comes back down, and kind of where the dust settles. It's usually comes back down and then a little bit higher than where it was previous to that boom, that bull run. But still, they do usually revert sort of back to a mean eventually. I'm not going to get too much into that topic. There's a lot of factors that affect that and how that all plays out, and over what duration of time it plays out. But everything's looking pretty good, actually. The economy in Canada is actually looking pretty good. GDP, price of oil is looking good for Alberta. Us poor old Calgarians who are so, our fortunes are so tied to the price of oil. So I would actually say things are looking pretty good in the real estate market in general. And if you've got any housing needs, please reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you guys out, buying or selling. And yeah, that's it. That's all for now. Thanks, guys. Take care.